Hi, I'm Duncan, and welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about selling on Amazon from Canada, specifically selling in the USA. If you're new to my channel, I've been selling on Amazon since 2014 and helping other Canadians follow my own journey and teaching them things that worked and didn't work, and really being a guinea pig so other people didn't have to make the mistakes I did in the early phases. Um, we've got a Facebook group that I opened in 2015. We're up to about 9,000 Canadians right now in the group, and it's a great place. It's free to join. There's a link in the description below to ask questions and build a sense of community with other fellow Canadian Amazon sellers. The reason I created that group is there were no other Canadian Facebook groups at the time, and I wanted a support network of other Canadian entrepreneurs to bounce ideas off and share my journey with. So that Facebook group became the go-to place for conversations. I also had a blog. It's still available today with articles that you can go back and read, where I would post my success stories and my failures and share that with others. Now, blogs aren't as popular today. Back in the day, on my old website, people would often go on the blog and ask questions in the comments section, and I would answer them there. That doesn't really happen anymore now. YouTube videos like this are where people go, and certainly the Facebook group has been our go-to lately with that, or lately over the last several years. I also wrote a best-selling ebook in 2015 called How to Sell on Amazon from Canada. Aptly named, right? Very precise. And the reason I wrote that book is it became a running joke in my group back in 2015 that I was answering a lot of the same questions from people in the group, because when I started selling on Amazon in 2014, early 2015, I realized that the US market was a lot bigger and I wanted to expand there. And it took me a long time back then to figure out how to do it properly. So I shared my journey and started teaching other people and answering questions in the Facebook group on how I did it. And people would joke and say, "Oh man, Duncan, you should just write an ebook, a how-to guide, so Canadians can quickly get your advice and do the same thing." And I kind of brushed it off and thought, yeah, maybe I'm too busy selling on Amazon. I don't know if I'll get around to that. But it became apparent to me that there was demand for that. So I spent 8 months putting that ebook together, and I launched it in 2016. And the first day, I had a smartwatch at the time, and it kept going ping, ping, ping all day long with people buying that ebook, a PDF version of it, for 25 Canadian dollars. And I made over $5,000 in the first day that book launched. And it's been a bestseller ever since. I update it frequently, but there's a huge amount of demand from Canadians that want a step-by-step guide from someone they can trust, because a lot of information isn't relevant, on how to sell on Amazon from Canada. So these days, it's under $10 Canadian. You can get it on Amazon Canada. There's a link in the description below. If you're just starting your journey, I would recommend you go there. It'll answer a lot of your questions. And certainly, please join our free Facebook group, because you'll find that extremely useful. So that ebook was my first education product, you could say, and I really got a passion for that from that point on. It was like, it's great to be a seller on Amazon, but I also love teaching people, and it was also amazing, especially based on the success of that book launch, that I could make an additional income outside of my Amazon business and use the profits from my information business to reinvest, to give me capital to grow my Amazon business. So that's something I teach in my course, actually, is to use the knowledge you have to consult or coach or help other people, other entrepreneurs, and small business owners with that information you have, because you'd be amazed at how excited they get. I mean, I've had 2-hour conversations with small business owners I've met randomly in public in their store, and explain to them the opportunities on Amazon, and they got so excited about that, and a lot of those have turned into business opportunities where I've partnered with them. So don't think you're underqualified. You have to learn the ropes, but start working with people early on, because there's nothing better than diversifying your income streams outside of just your Amazon account. So Selling in the US, a lot of people are intimidated by it, and it's really not that complicated. When you open an Amazon seller account and you're approved, you automatically get access to both the Canadian and the US marketplaces. You don't need a US bank account right off the bat. Down the road, you want to get one because you'll save on exchange rate fees. But when you're a new seller, who cares? You're barely selling any volume. Don't let anything get in the way of your progress and success and make small, little, tiny technicalities an obstacle that prevents you from moving forward. If they charge you an extra 3-4% on the exchange rate when you convert from US dollars to Canadian, do it. If it means that you're growing in the US and learning and developing your business, you're going to be far better ahead by taking action and doing that than trying to save 3% when you haven't got any sales. So don't get stuck on that. A lot of people get stuck up on that, and it's like, no, that's the wrong mindset. Get started and look for efficiencies in your business and ways to save costs when you start making profit, right? Shocking concept. But I get it. A lot of people have never run a business before. They're paycheck wage slaves, and they've never had to think for themselves and don't understand the entrepreneurial mindset. And I came from a background of entrepreneurs. I ran several businesses before I sold on Amazon. I was in outside sales on 100% commission, making a very mid six-figure salary in my 20s. And so I've always been the kind of person that gets rewarded based on my own efforts. I've never had a secure salary like some people have. So my mindset has always been creative and looking for ways to hustle and make extra money and grow a business and relate with customers especially. Which is why I enjoy coaching and teaching so much. Now, obviously, I value my time. I live on beautiful Vancouver Island, and I didn't want a business that would eat up all my time. And so the book was great, but I moved into creating a course, which was really the tenets of everything I would teach people when I used to coach people regularly one-on-one. But not everyone can afford my rates now, and it's a bad use of my time. So a course with video lectures from me personally, and having access to me via email and group chats, I think is a great way for the average person to get going on Amazon. You're not alone. I'm here to support you. We're still a small group, and we're friendly Canadians. We look out for each other. So my course, the Seller Academy, is a great way to start. When you're first starting a business, this is something that people get stuck on again. It's fine to be a sole proprietorship. You don't have to incorporate right away. I mean, always consult legal guidance. I'm not an advisor, but don't let obstacles get in your way. You can start selling on Amazon under your name tomorrow and just declare any income or losses against your income taxes. It's not that hard, and again, later on, you can incorporate. It's not a big deal to change over to a corporation down the road if you need to. Selling on Amazon, one of the easiest ways to sell in the US is to buy products in the US and sell them on .com. But you could also, and I've made most of my money buying products in Canada that I can flip in the US. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you might have noticed how the Canadian dollar has lost a ton of purchasing power. So right now, $1 gets you $1.44 Canadian, 44 cents more per dollar. So what I discovered, and a lot of people aren't aware of this, there's many products out there that you can buy in Canada day in and day out at regular prices and sell them in the US for pretty much the same in US dollars as you paid in Canadian dollars. Now what that means is when you get paid, you're getting 1.44 for every dollar US sold, which means that covers most of your Amazon selling fees, FBA fees, and shipping costs, and everything else is pure profit from what you paid. So if you source right, you can make a lot of money by buying in Canada and selling in the US. You might be thinking, well, how do I get my products across the border? Well, I'm glad you asked. The ebook explains that in detail, and my course goes into even more detail and options on how to do that. And it all involves you never having to see or touch boxes or packing tape. The whole point of the Amazon FBA business is so you don't have to deal with packages and products. You don't want to be the bottleneck in your business. There's prep companies in Canada and the US that'll receive your packages, and ones in Canada like Stallion Express that'll package them up, take them across the border very inexpensively, and then they get picked up on the other side of the border in the US and off they go to Amazon's warehouses. It's just that simple. When I first started doing that, I couldn't believe it. At first, I was apprehensive, thinking, what if they lose my products? What if it doesn't work? And then there's one time I'm lying on a beach on holiday, and someone said, the prep company, we're about to ship your 300 products to Amazon FBA, da 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 da. And I'm thinking, man, when I used to do all that stuff myself, I was tied to basically creating a warehouse job for myself, and now this was all done while I'm lying on the beach. I never went back. And I encourage everybody who sells on Amazon to outsource right away. Yes, it eats into your profits, so source products that are profitable enough to cover those costs. It takes you out of the business, frees up your time, and allows you to focus on the number one important thing in any business, which is growing the business rather than working in the business. You didn't start an Amazon business to basically become a warehouse employee. If you do want to be a warehouse employee, why would you go with the headaches of starting a business? Just go get a job in a warehouse. That isn't the goal. FBA, the goal is hands off. You hear a lot of people complaining they can't find anything profitable and yada, yada, yada. And they're right. I don't blame them. It's not their fault. They don't understand the things that took me over a decade to master and perfect, which is why I include supplier contacts in my courses. And I tell you the best places and types of products to source from, the hidden gems that nobody else talks about from a unique Canadian perspective. So if you're serious about wanting to make a side hustle, or even like I did, a full-time income, join my course, join our free Facebook group, like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting more content out here, or download a copy of my Amazon Kindle book and start reading that. It will give you all kinds of insights. I cover tons of material in there. It's like everything I put out, there's way more content than what I charge. You get massive value for your money. I hope that was helpful. If you have any specific questions, leave them below, and I look forward to getting to know you and your Amazon journey.